Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for a brand new episode this week. We'll be covering Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's first two games in charge. Both went to plan, both two victories, which is nice to see. And we'll also be talking about details within the game, how we think it went, players that played well, players that maybe played bad. And then moving on to the next two games against Hibs and Dundee at home on Saturday. So as always, if you do like the podcast, like the channel, if you could like, subscribe, and share it about for us, that'd be very much appreciated. We got a lot of subscribers, maybe about 20, 30 subscribers due to Footy Adventures, so big shout out to him. I've done a wee interview for him before the game at Sparta Prague as well, so it was good talking to Sam again, and cheers for putting the links in your video. So firstly, on that Sparta game then, we all knew what was to be done. We had to win by 2 clear goals. And surprisingly, unlike Rangers, we actually just went and won 2-0. We didn't have any sort of problems with the game. Sparta didn't have that much in the game, apart from one at the end of the game. Al McGregor saved that magnificently. But apart from that, it was job done.
It was job done, Jack. That's why I'm dressed suited and booted, because we are talking about sheer class now. This is expertise. This is beautiful football. It was a fantastic night. It's exactly what we needed. It's exactly what I feel like every Rangers fan probably envisioned, was us going out there, hopefully keeping a clean sheet, getting the 2 goals and going through in Europe. And it was that, and it was even better, Jack, because my man was back to being himself. Alfredo back to doing the business, shall we say. My boy Joe Rebo could have had a hat-trick definitely that night.
Nah, I mean, like, for the word go, it just seemed like the team had a total lift with Van Bronckhorst's presence in the touchline as well. And for his first game as well, it was important to get off to a victory, and it was a very important victory for the club as well, because obviously we want to get through in every competition we play in. And he was able to come in with 2 days of training with the players and all his new coaches and that, and he was able to get that kind of performance out of them, which in Europe has been unlike us this season, because usually Europe's a sort of area where we can go and express ourselves, but this season it's not really been that way. We've had a poor start, which led us to that situation, but in the end, with 1 game to spare and we're through. You would have took it at the start of the group by 100% looking at it, because looking at Brøndby and Sparta Prague, at Rangers probably are the better out of the 3 teams, but Lyon, obviously, they're a strong favourite to go on to the final and that. But out of the 3 teams, I'd say we are the best, and we showed that we are. And as you say, Morelos showing he's back to you. I liked Van Bronckhorst in his press conference as well, saying, look, you need to be in the box. I want my striker to be in the box. He had many opportunities, put away 2 of them. The second one, a gift, could have had a hat-trick, but it's good to see Morelos back, looking like he's enjoying his football again after the weekend when he was absolutely woeful against Hibs in the Cup. To come out with that, and even yesterday as well, it's looking promising again for Morelos.
It's like everywhere is looking promising. I think it's because he's got a manager that wants him to be where a striker should be, which is in and around the box, and no playing as a defender halfway up the park. So no, it's good. It's, as I say, it's back. I feel like we're playing proper football again, really attacking, free-flowing football, and I'm enjoying it. Maybe 1 or 2 players that we could maybe see potentially going in January, but for me, I'm just enjoying the football at the moment. I've got that song stuck in my head for yesterday. I can't get it out to be honest.
I mean, how many songs? You've got the Fashion Junior one, you've got the Geo chant, you've got that new one that we've posted yesterday, all just been ringing around my head, trying to do work all day, and I'm just keep on singing lyrics for all these songs. But going back to the Sparta Prague game as well, Bassi came in at centre half. Unorthodox. He started obviously over there at centre half, didn't have a great time, and then he's our only sort of centre back we can use there due to Balogun's injury now. So he came in and he was colossal. He was fantastic. Just everything you want for your centre half, and for him not being a proper centre half and putting in that performance in Europe still at a young age, same age as me and you, 21 years old, and he's doing the business.
Yeah, he's doing the business. That's the reason why we're doing a podcast. No, obviously in past episodes we've said that probably not a centre half, but listen, the performances he's put in recently, changing their mind slightly, you can see why. he's been, obviously we've got no centre halves to come in, so he's got to have to play there. But just real top class performance on Thursday night. That was a masterful performance for me. A really tough night as well, if you think about the circumstances that we were in. And for him to go out and play the way that he did, superb. And then obviously yesterday as well, he had a really decent game as well. And he's coming on, and I'm happy. He's definitely the number one left back for me. I feel what Barisic is time's probably done for myself personally, but no, my boy Calvin Bassey, I'm praising him. I love him. Top performances.
Aye, and he just a guy you want. You see playing, like his energy, just his enthusiasm at the club and all that. It's just matches Yanis Hadji for me. He'll always, as he said in his press conference after the game, like, if the manager wants to stick me up front, I'll go up and I'll try and do my best. Like, he's that kind of guy, and I feel like we've got a lot of players in the squad that would do that. But again, looking at the Sparta game, McGregor with his saves, Davis was really good as well. Kamara was winning the ball back everywhere. I thought he was great. And all round, just exactly what you need. A good team performance gets Gio off to his first victory, a big victory, and then we move on into the last 32 again, which is a big achievement in itself, to be able to do that every single time. Apart from the first year, I think we were in the Europa League. I think we get put out in the groups, but 3 years in a row to progress through the group stages is really good for us. So the question now is, who do you want to see as face? Currently, obviously, it's still up for grabs with the third spots, but who are you fancying?
Well, I've already said to you, I've had a vision, Jack, sent down for me. Is I've visualised that we will be playing Atletico Madrid, but I reckon if we don't get Atleti, I'd love a team like Dortmund. I just think the atmosphere in both their games would be fantastic, and it'd be a good experience for the players. And either way, whoever we draw, it's going to be a great experience for the players and what's going to be expected of them if we do win the league and get Champions League football. But no, just for atmosphere with Dortmund and for Atletico, it'd be fantastic. What about yourself?
I mean, I'm not going to say I wouldn't like to play the both of the teams. I'd love to get a glamour tie like that, especially with Barcelona possibly dropping down as well. It's going to be a really tough position to go and get into the next round, but it's the type of position I want the players to really be in, because as you say, they're going to be hopefully fighting for Champions League football next year, so they're not get used to playing teams like this calibre, and it'll be a good test. But there's teams in there like Sheriff and Zenit and Petersburg and that, tricky ones, but maybe more favourable to us that we could go out and do the two legs. But honestly, I'll take Andy. I will take anybody. If it is Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, whoever ends up in the third spot, I will take MD. But my preference would be Borussia Dortmund, 100%.
Because as I say, they beat Real Madrid in the Bernabeu, that Sheriff, didn't they? I mean, you don't want to. Some of the teams can be a slip up, can be a banana peel. So you wouldn't want to play them for me. I just want the big ties. I want the players to experience what they're going to have to experience if they do win the league. These are the games they're going to have to get used to. There's no point in hiding away from them. I'm not going to hide away from them. We're going to go and we're going to play them.
100%, and we'll look forward to that draw, I think, in maybe 2 weeks' time, maybe a week's time. Whenever the next Europa League game is anyway, will be the Friday after that, so we'll look forward to it then. And then on to Livingston yesterday, first league game for Van Bronckhorst, a notoriously hard venue to go to. I mean, Rangers and Celtic go there and they struggle pretty much every time they go. So we knew that, we knew the pitch, the conditions before the game. I wasn't expecting to see snow, so that was an added factor into it. But we got off to the right start. Like, exactly what you need to be doing at Livingston is starting fast, getting a couple of goals, and making sure you're within a distance where you can go and see the game out. Because although they did come back into the game and in the 45th minute, just before half time, they could have made it two each. I felt it was controlled, and I liked what I saw for a good part of the game, as Gio said as well. And his reaction to the match, there's still parts of the game though that we seem to be sleeping. I mean, although we controlled the second half, it was like slack passing and stuff like that, and then towards the end of the first half, about the same. But majority, and I think everybody will be pleased just with the 3 points.
Just with the 3 points and sensational goals. My man, sensational Joe Aribo getting that beautiful goal. The first goal for me is beautiful as well. I love the pass for Tavernier straight through. Arfield was making the runs all game in the first half. A lot of them were trying to make that run. But no, we attacked the game, we really went for it for me. In the first sort of thing, as you say, did maybe fall off at the end of the second half. The first half. But I didn't think Giannis had a good game. I'll be honest with you, I didn't think Giannis had a really good game. And I would have liked to have seen Barisic come on the overlap like he usually does. He seems to be, I don't know, a bit hesitant. Maybe he's been told to stay there. I don't believe that for a second. But no, I'd say it was a controlled game. I do think some of the decision making still needs to be improved. You can see that sometimes the back four are a bit clueless in terms of where to pass the ball. So I mean, there's one or two areas to be improved, but with time, Jack, I'm hoping that it does. But the main thing is, Jack, it was the snowball fights. Come on, are you kidding me on it? What we're talking about here, the snowball fights.
Half time snowball fight, and then the players came onto the pitch. Srajek, keeper, getting ready to go. He's like, right, Livingston, we're going to get back into this. Ends up getting pelted with snowballs. I mean, the UB done their part in terms of getting us the 3 points. We disrupting the Livy players anyway, but that was just a bit of banter. I mean, what you see on Twitter and all that about it's just lighten up a bit, have a laugh. Although I was like, right, when's the game going to start back? It was a laugh, and it was just what Scottish football is.
But listen, if we're going to go hang me for that, I want to go at the fact that was Livy fans wanting pictures with Fashion Sakala, Scott, you know that when they were warming up. So
well, we were there, we saw it. Like, I mean, what how tin pot do you need to be?
Exactly. I mean, Fashion's a lovely guy. He's going to give him a picture, but I just noticed with Scott Wright when he went over for the second or third one, he's like, fuck's sake, man, you know what I mean? Get me away from this. But overall, man, I was happy with the fact that we're actually going for it now, man. Just great to finally play some good football again. As I say, a lot of them looked a bit lost and didn't look like themselves, and we noticed that. But it's just good to have Gio in, finally getting to play some good football for me. And as I say, one or two defenders, maybe I'd ship them out in January. But I just think we all know the two that I'm on about. And I just think their decision making is just shocking sometimes. Although Barisic I thought he had a really good game yesterday. Just would have liked to see him on the over. And McGregor pulling out the big saves again. So I was all round, mate. Positive.
It was positive apart from the goal we lost, obviously, which was I mean, it was comedy central at the back with Connor Goldson. He should be dealing with that. And after last week, I mean, he said a lot of people on his back, a lot of people, and for them to do that. And then he had a lot of wayward passes, just passing out the part and that. But he's not done himself any favours, which is what I'm trying to say. But he redeemed himself, obviously, by not letting it go to them, letting him right back in the game, right enough.
See, to be honest with you, when he was warming up, and obviously we were watching him warming up, I was tempted. I did want to shout, come on, Connor, show me some of that hunger, but I didn't want to cause a riot here, you know what I mean? But no, listen, I'm done with the guy, as I say. I mean, if we going to praise him, if on this podcast we've both praised him and said last season was the player of the season, we were wanting him to sign the contract. We do want him to sign the contract. But I just think after comments like that and what's going on and all that, I definitely see his away in January. As you're saying, I say it all the time, man, it's his lack of concentration, man. He's half of the time he's not even in the game.
No.
So I don't know, man. He's definitely
I think it's January is looking ever more likely that he's going to go, but I mean, he's been a great servant to the club, regardless if it does go in January. It's unfortunate if it does end the way it does, because he's been fantastic over the 4 years that we've had him. Like, for him playing nearly every single game of the Gerrard era, like consistently over that long period of time, his heart problems and all that, he's came a long way. But just his attitude doesn't really seem to be where it was a year ago, for instance.
No, as you're saying, mate, a fantastic servant to the club. And as I said, without shadow of a doubt, if you still ask me, he was a player of the season last time, I'm still saying him because he was excellent from start to finish. As I say, the frustrating thing is you want that guy, and that's the guy you want to sign another contract and be committed to the club and show that he is hungry to be at the club. But who knows? I don't know. At the same time, we've talked about the interview. I don't want to keep going on about it, but it's one of them where you're like, I wish it would have ended a bit better than it's going to end.
Because like, once you say stuff like that in the press and all that, it's really hard to come back for that. Like, although he's still putting on the jersey, we're winning, which I'm happy about. He's still got the mistakes in his game, and it looks like all season the sort of contract issue that's been looming on him has affected him in a way, which you don't want. And as it keeps running out, like it's inevitable. If at least the end of the season he's gone, but he's our only centre half at the moment. I know, like, he's the only guy we've got to play there as well, and I've got to give him respect for that. Playing with Bassey or whoever it's going to be over the season, like, he's consistently there all the time, and but I just want to see his performance level go up a bit, and as you said, the hunger to go win. But I mean, I just hope. Like, I like him. I really do like Connor Goldson. That's the thing.
Of course. But
it's just the way it is now, man. It's annoying.
Right, listen, everyone else, I said it, obviously, Catty was off to hang me back. But honestly, I don't think maybe that is the option. Maybe Catty comes back in the summer and we go out and we get somebody maybe for the Ajax Academy. I'd like to pinch a couple of them now that we've pinched a real top acquisition off the Ajax.
I think the thing is going to be a loan deal, to be honest. If we get a centre half in, it's going to be till the summer, I think.
Well, a loan to buy or something?
Well, depending on who it is, like, we might just get somebody in that we know can do a job for 6 months, or we might get somebody like John Suter in that we might just take the option to go and get him in the summer or something like that. Like, I don't know. But I can definitely see it being a loan because of Balogun coming back, Hollander coming back. We know they're top centre halves in their own right. I think maybe just one more in there, and it'd probably be a loan.
I know, definitely. And as I was about to say, obviously McGregor, we've been very critical. I've been very critical of him this season, but I have to say, last 2 games he's been sensational. He's been back to his best, and that's what you want to see, man. Guys making top quality saves to keep us in games, and I'm just happy to see a bit of him start to keep back, and that's what I want. You know what I mean? You don't want McGregor the way he's been playing recently. You want him the way he's been the last 2 games, and I'm happy to see he's got his form back.
No, definitely. That's definitely one you've wanted to see. And again, the quality of the goals yesterday, as we finish on that, like, I mean, the midfield runners coming in, I thought Arfield was fantastic again yesterday, like, including the Hibs game last week, which was not great for a lot of players. I thought he was really good as well, got the goal. I mean, he comes in to start on Sunday, and it does himself no harm by starting the next game as well, because I thought he was great. And it's a guy that we've consistently talked about, thinking, right, he's done. But it looks like he's been revitalised by a new manager. He's getting a new chance to go and prove himself. And in that position, just behind the striker, where he's got that first goal for me, is Arfield's perfect position. He'll always pick up goals. He'll always try and create goals for there, which I think is good. Aribo's is just fantastic. I mean, Hadji switches the play. Kent plays it to Morelos, tap to Aribo, and he strikes it in, I mean, forcefully off the bar. And then the third goal as well, really important in terms of the time it came in the game. We were all just waiting for the third one. Gives you that, I mean, your heart was beating. You're like, right, I've seen this happen before. Get it over with. But no, we end up grabbing the third goal. Fashion Sakala, couldn't happen to a nicer guy. We've seen him warming up, shouting with the fans, I love you and all that. I mean, that guy is just absolutely, I just love him. And I think all the Rangers support are taking to him in a way that Alfredo Morelos was when he first came to the club as well. Everybody just adores him still. But Fashion Sakala's energy is rubbing off on everybody, and it was nice to see him pick up another goal as well.
Definitely. I mean, it was nice to see him pick up, as you said, turning around screaming at the fans. He loves us as well, which just brings a smile to my face thinking about. But every time he's on, you can't help but smile. And as I say, he's around about, I don't want to say he's around about the same size as Messi, but what I'm trying to say here is, see if Messi scores that kind of header, I'm sorry, that's getting talked about, because
he gets up some height.
He gets up. You know what I mean? That's a Cristiano relic. He gets up there for that corner. Fantastic goal.
Yeah, I know, a great header. I don't know what the goalie was thinking right enough, or what he was trying to do, but I mean, he made it pretty easy for Sakala, but to get up that height, get the leap on it, and direct into a goal was good. And for the fact he scored 3 headers for us already, is for a wee guy, like he is pretty small. I was expecting more sort of goals at the win against Motherboy's second goal, more kind of stuff like that. But I mean, he's scoring all types of goals, which is nice to see. And when I was listening to Van Bronckhorst's presser today, he likes players that can play in different positions. They were asking him, look, what's going to happen? Is Sakala going to play through the middle? Do you see him more as a winger? And he was like, I see him as all of the things because I like players that can play anywhere. We saw that with Nathan Patterson as well. Patterson came on centre midfield, I think, on Thursday, and then he played more of a right wing role up ahead of Tavernier, which I thought again looked very well in. So I'm just so happy Nathan Patterson's getting more game time. And Gio looks like he's really rating him, which is nice to see. But I think that's Livy. Positive victory. We get the goals, 2 wins and 2 for Gio, and hopefully we can go and make it 3. With Hibs coming up on Wednesday, I mean, we need to put a lot right against Hibs after the last time we played them. They'll be up for it. They know they've beat us in the semi. They're in the final. There's the bragging rights for them there. But I think Hibs fans see this as their sort of old firm, which, because of that one season in the Championship, I think they see this as their like big game, and they try to make a rivalry out of it for some reason, which I find weird. But we go there again, 2 wins and 2, and we need to put it right. To be honest, we need to go and dominate Easter Road, and we need to go and get the 3 points. Because to be honest, I care more about this now than I do about them singing about beating us in the semi. That's over with. I would rather we get the 3 points in the league.
Definitely. Listen, it's one of them where, for me, we've got to go there and we've got to score 3 or 4 for me. I want these lot to be quieted. Do you know what I mean? I want Alfredo with a big finger up and like, yo, pipe down. And listen, as you're saying, it's great to just finally see some imagination and creativity in the team. As you're saying, Patterson playing for the 4th, and for this game, Jack, I want a 3 or 4. If I'm honest with you, I really want to kick it to these lot. You can sing about winning the semi-final, all right, fair play. You won the semi and you were decent on the day, but no, the league's more important for me. And this game,
it's going to be big.
Oh, it's going to be big. Sorry, but as I say, we've seen real quality games at Easter Road before for us. I'm just hoping we can get out there and get. I want to, honestly, 3 or 4 would be nice for me personally.
Oh, I'd love to go and pump them after that. After their celebrations in that semi-final, all the Ryan Porteous stuff and all that, I would love nothing more to go out and batter them on Wednesday. And I feel that we're in a good position now where we could maybe go and do that. With 2 games under Gio now, that we can maybe start implementing even more of the ideas that he's wanting to spread through the team into this one. Because this will be probably, although we did play in Europe, I think this is going to be the toughest game so far for him, especially where Sunday was like we're miles off it for Hibs, and now it looks like we could go out there and hopefully win the game. But looking at the team, he said there's no fresh injury stuff, no issues. Helander though is back in training. He's on the grass again, so hopefully looking like a December time return for him, that can not come quicker. That'll be such a boost when we get him back. Kemar Roof could be involved tomorrow as well. He's back training. They're going to make a sort of what's the word? I was going to make the call on him to see if he's going to be in the squad on Wednesday. But the team, I think, will be pretty similar actually. The defence anyway is, you can't really do much with it. McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Bassey, Barisic, I think it'll stay. I think Davis will come back in for this one. I think Kamara and Arfield will start in midfield, and I think the front 3 will be Aribo, Kent and Morelos. I don't know what it is, but Aribo seems to go out wide when we play teams like this away from home. And I think that might be the same sort of scenario that we get. It would be nice to see Sakala in there. It would be nice to see maybe a John Lundstrom in the sitting position, but I think he's going to go with Davis because he knows how big a game this is. Maybe Lundstrom. Ryan Jack as well is always an option, but we've not seen him in the squad yesterday either. But I think something similar to that. I think maybe the only one would be Sakala, but then you would even drop Arfield. That's the thing. I think you stick with Arfield.
I definitely think you stick with Arfield. I think his performances in the last couple of games have been fantastic. And I'll be honest with you, I could see something like that lining up as we say, Davis coming in. I wouldn't be too surprised with that. It would be important for such a massive game like this. Definitely. I don't know about Lundstrom. Obviously, I'd like to see Lundstrom get more game time, but I don't know. if Gio's like, as I'm saying, I'm noticing the players that are warming up, and maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I'm noticing it's a lot of Patterson. It's a lot of players with speed. That's what I'm noticing. Obviously, Lundstram did well. I'd like to see Lundstram get more game time, as you say. You look at the thing, he's been fantastic for us.
Just a massive fan of Lundstram, man. Like, seeing him warming up. We go back to the Livy game as well, and they were singing the chants for the two players that were there. I can't mind who it was at the time. And then he's sitting there, and I like that the fans were improvising and putting his name into songs and all that, because I want Lundstram to know that we love him. Because I mean, he's head down, he's focused. I believe Lundstram to make it into the team. And it just, after the 6 game sort of run where he was just phenomenal, I want to see that again.
No, definitely, mate. You do want to see that back in the team, but as I say all the time, for me, it's who's playing well plays. And that's what Gio's got to think about. You're thinking about Ryan Jack and everything like that as well. Main thing for me is we go out there, we get the job done, we get 3 points, we get back up the road. That's the main thing for myself anyway.
Yeah, I genuinely think it will be something similar to that. I can't see Arfield getting dropped, and I think Arfield deserves to stay in the squad. I think he could be very key in terms of making the runs and with Kent and Aribo around them. I think Arfield's totally different for the two of them, so it gives you a lot to play with up the front end of the park, and you can also do it going back as well. But I think that's probably the strongest team on form that we could probably go with at the moment for Hibs. They're obviously, they won 2-1 at the weekend there. So they're back to winning ways in the league after, of course, getting beat off Ross County after putting their all into beating us. So expecting them to try their fucking heart out to go and beat us. It's going to be a really, really tough game. But again, it's one I'm now looking forward to. I mean, looking at 2 weeks ago, or last week, when that semi-final happened, I didn't even want to know when Rangers were playing again. It was that bad. But I'm just happy the way Gio's sort of running things now, and hopefully can stamp even more of the authority on the squad. I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen. But as you say, 3 points is the main thing, and hopefully we get down the road. And then moving on to that, then is Dundee at home. Dundee again have had a sort of resurgence in form. 3-0. They beat Motherwell there at Dens Park, which again, really good victory for a team that are close around them. That's the kind of games they'll be looking to win. We your Motherwells and that. So again, I think Motherwell, Dundee have an all right team, by the way. Like, obviously, Danny Mullen scored against Celtic, and I think Charlie Adam. Obviously, you know what you're going to get for him. Lee Griffiths. Don't even know if he's even played this season, but less said about that, the better. It'll be nice to see him getting his welcome back to Ibrox right enough. Jason Cummings, I think they have an all right team. They've just been really inconsistent this season, first season back. So I'm expecting us to just go out, and it has to be 3 points at home against teams like this. And I'm expecting some changes in this lineup.
No, listen, it's going to be his first game in terms of league-wise, managing it at home. It's going to be, as I say, probably going to ask maybe for a better game in terms of the first home game. Do have a decent side, don't get me wrong. As you said, like Jason Cummins and Charlie Adams still play for him and all, didn't he?
Charlie Adam. Paul McMullen was the guy I was thinking. The right winger, even, man. He's rapid, and if you remember back to the Dundee game away, that was the guy who got brought down for the penalty by John McLaughlin. So he is tricky to play against as well.
I know. Well, it's just the same, mate. I'm home for a couple. I'm just waiting to see who you're going to change. Who are you changing in the team then? Go. Let's see.
I just feel like this is a perfect opportunity for Gio to go out. If we win, obviously, on Wednesday, which is the main thing first. But depending on what happens, I feel like it's a good opportunity for him to go out and play a couple of different players that maybe haven't got a lot of game time recently. So I think Patterson might come in at right back for that reason, or anywhere across the pitch now. I think Patterson is due a start. It's looking like he's chatting on the door. He's featured in the first 2 Gio games so far, and I think he might go with him. But I've put him at right back for now. Goldson and Barisic will need to stay there for the now because we have nobody. Hopefully Balogun is back. You know what I'm going to say. I want my guy John Lundstram to be in there. I think it's again the perfect opportunity for him to go and get a start against Dundee. See if Gio actually likes him as a player. I think it's a perfect game for him. Kamara, Aribo, I think Aribo just is going to be starting every game. Let's be honest, he's been the best player for us this
It's
season.
played the season so far.
And I think he might go with Sakala, Morelos, and Kent. I think that's quite an attacking front three. We need to go and get the job done at home, and it gives players that I feel are going to get a game on Wednesday a rest, like your Davis, Arfields, and that. So I can see something like that maybe happening. A guy who I feel is looked very sharp in his past few appearances is Scott Wright as well. Another one for me. He's looked very, very sharp every time he's come on the park. And a guy, again, who no doubt will be chatting on the door because he's unlike, he's sort of like Kent in a way. He can play over on the right, the left. He's got that raw pace, and maybe we'll look to exploit that at some point. But I think he's just that. But I think there will be quite a few changes.
Interesting. I'd like to see Scott. Definitely, I was about to say Scott. I'd like to see him get some minutes, but I don't know if he will. To be honest with you, I think Gio's the kind of guy, as I say, who's going to play the players that are playing well. The guys that are doing the job for him. Maybe one or two changes I could see. Definitely, but I'm not so worried about the whole right back thing anymore. As I say, we're showing creativity, we're showing imagination. We're actually playing Patterson further forth, and I like that idea. It was something that Tav did say. He did say, look, listen, put me further forth and play Patterson at right back. So I like the idea of one of the two and maybe switching there. I would like to see, definitely, I'd like to see Bakuna. That's the guy I'm.
Oh my God, don't.
I'd like to see Bakuna. I'd like to see Ryan Jack. I'd like to see a couple of them get minutes. But as I say, it's all about the players who are playing well and represent the club and doing the job at the end of the day.
Exactly. It is indeed. We'll need to wait and see what happens on Wednesday, first of all. But I am just looking towards this Dundee game and even the Lyon game as well away. I think, is that the next week? I think that's the Thursday after this Dundee game, innit? So again, another opportunity. It's a dead rubber. We don't need to go win the game, but obviously it'd be nice to. But we can go over there, give players minutes. Players like Stephen Kelly, who hopefully Gio will just say, right, on you go. Game of 90 minutes in Europe. I mean, that's going to do what? How much is that going to do for a young guy like that? Even if it is a dead rubber, he start for Rangers and against Lyon as well. It'll be a big game. Robbie McCrory maybe as well. So I think that'll be your game. Maybe alongside Dundee that you'll get maybe opportunities for different players.
No, listen, I could see that. Listen, I'd love to go away and beat Lyon. To be honest with you, I keep saying it to you. I want to beat them. I'd love to. I'd love to beat them, and maybe he does give players like I don't know if Robbie McCrory and that'll go get a star. I don't think McGregor and all that'll play, but it definitely would be nice to see something like McCrory get more minutes. And Stephen Kelly, as I say, looks like a really talented player. It's just the circumstances we found ourselves in that I feel like Gio's he's still looking, he's still discovering who's really the best players there. But no, as I say, the players that are playing so far for me have been fantastic. And as I say, we're showing creativity, imagination, and that's what I'm liking. That's what I like with football. We're playing players in positions. They have to be able to play multiple positions, not just the one. So it's really good. And as I say, the main boy's back in the form, and he's looking happy and confident again. And that's what I'm happy to see Morelos firing on all cylinders again, man.
And that's also what's nice to see looking at. Obviously, where we've been in the last two games is how bad we were in front of goal a large part of this season. Like, there was times where we had no pace up front. There was times where we had no imagination to actually go and score goals. And it seems like we're getting this now with Gio. And it seems like his ideas are filtering through slowly but surely. And again, I think he will maybe use these two games, Dundee and Lyon, as
experimental games.
He does need to see the squad, see who he fancies, give players minutes and that. So I think he might use it for that reason. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if we go full strength, and I wouldn't be complaining at that either. Because the main thing is he needs to go and see the team fit to go and see out 3 points. So I'm looking forward to Hibs, Dundee, and hopefully I know 2 positive results. But that's all really I had to talk about today. We've covered everything. Is there anything you'd like to add at the end?
No, I just want to big up my boy Greg Stewart again, as we say. It's something we always do in the podcast. He'll be firing on all cylinders over in the Super League in India.
Do you know what? I'll need to actually see. Let's see. Jamshed Spur.
A weird name for a team.
They won 3-1 away So nice to see Greg Stewart.
One of Greggy Stewart.
Didn't he go on the pitch right enough? No, he did. He was starting and he got 2 assists.
Yes.
Greg Stewart is doing the business over in India. So
Go on, Greggy.
nice stuff. But aye, hopefully they have a great season too. But aye, that's it. If you did enjoy the episode, as always.
And shout out
before I go.
Shout out to Orange County, is it? The MLS side that have just won the league over there or something.
Did they win the league?
I don't know if they win the league, but they've won something and they're playing in a cup final, so shout out to them.
Well, the partner club, shout out Orange County. Aye, Rob Kiernan plays for them.
Rob Kiernan, I was a bit...
there's a familiar face, but aye, as always, if you could like, subscribe, share about for us, that'd be very much appreciated, because we're nearly at 250 subscribers now, so if you could get us there, that'd be very much appreciated, and we'll see you hopefully covering 2 positive results. Cheers.